Okay, boys. Welcome to today's video. This is gonna be a bit different than my gameplay videos, which should be coming soon. I've been kind of busy this week, so I haven't been able to upload. Anyways, binary here, and I want to talk to you guys about how I went from bronze to platinum in 1 month with never ever playing League before. This was in the summer. My friends got into League. We normally play pickup basketball, but all of a sudden, one of my friends started League. Then they all started League. Then I started League. And I started ranked in about June through July. I got placed bronze 1. I fell to bronze 3. And then within 1 month and a week, about a week, I went to platinum. And a lot of people find that quite interesting because I hear that many people get stuck in many divisions for a long period of time. Now with my platinum friends, they always tell me like I always ask them like, "Oh, is Malachi AP or AD?" Like questions like that, and they're still mind blown that I'm in platinum and diamond. I'm actually in plat 3. I'm actually in plat 4 now. I just started team gameplay, so it's quite different. I need to extend my champ pool, and I'm playing champs I barely ever play, and I'm getting dumpstered. So, anyways, back to the presentation. Let's go to the next slide. If it'll let me do that. Okay, here we go. Background. So yes, I did play Dota 2. You guys might have already guessed that, but this was 2 years ago. I had not played Dota since junior year of high school, beginning of junior year of high school. And right now I'm a freshman in college. And senior year of high school, in the summer of senior year, I picked up uh, League. I started ranked in June 8. I mean, yeah, I play with my friends 1 through 30, but then I kind of stopped playing with them just because I wanted to see how I could do solo and ranked. And, I played Call of Duty. I played games my whole life. And I do research on games. After I played a match, I would see the matchups, I'd see the statistics. I'd look on YouTube and see how certain players played the matchup before I'd even go into the game. Research is really important, but it has its own slide, which I hit on later. But as you guys can see, from June 8th to July 15th, I went from bronze to freaking plat. So if I can do it, I think everyone can do it. You just got to put in the effort, got to put in the time, and the results will show. So find out the role you like the most. This is important because, okay, when you start the game, you need to play at least each role at least 5 to 10 times. The reason is you might have a shitty first game. You might get trash teammates. You never know what might happen. Um, all that stuff might happen. So you have to play at least 5 to 10 times, and you have to see which one you enjoy the most playing. Not the one that wins you games. No, the one that you enjoy the most playing, the one you have the most fun in, the one that you feel like is the most comfortable. I know this is basics, guys. I know you probably heard this on many other videos, but this is too important. You cannot switch roles, guys. You cannot. If you're a top main like me, you play top, you don't queue up for anything else except for secondary mid, which you pick Annie in and dumpster people with Annie because she's mechanically easy to master. Unless you're Annie-bot, and then you got some tricks up your sleeve. But you have to stick to this one role. I'm telling you guys, it is too important. For me, in my scenario, I am bronze. You're not carrying unless you're jungle. Okay, so even if you don't like jungle, this is the only exception. In bronze, you are picking jungle. I'm telling that for everyone. I don't care if you don't like PvE. I don't care. You're picking jungle because jungle's its current meta is jungle. If you look at solo queue, highest ranked players are normally junglers. So pick jungle in bronze, but if you're in silver, you can carry from any of the following roles. I know if you're a support main, you're gonna have it the hardest. It's just without a question. You're gonna have to, but you can. There's so many posts on Reddit where there's challenger supports that talk about their climb. I would recommend reading into that, how they climbed, because I am not a support main. I played pretty much everything else besides support, but yeah. Okay, let's just leave it at that. ADC right now is actually pretty hard to carry with. You need to be mechanically so good on so many champions to carry from AD carry. And I think that's the most picked besides mid lane. Mid lane, also just you snowball your lane so hard, you spread the wealth to the other lanes, and you just win games. Jungle, I'm telling you, jungle is by far the easiest to carry with. You just get your lanes fed, and they carry the game for you. Top lane, in my opinion, low elo. If you're stuck in low elo and you main top, split push, man. Like, holy shit, you do not understand how some teams are so stupid and crumble when there's a Jax top, Tryndamere top, Shen top, Gangplank top, who are Karthus top, who are split pushing the whole entire game, and they send 3 top lane, and bam, they lost 2 towers around the map just because they sent 3 top to deal with you. Like, if you're top lane, you split push. If you're mid, you snowball your lane, you share the wealth, and you keep it going. Jungle, you just gank lanes, get them fed, they carry you. AD carry, you win your lane, and then you just stay alive in team fights. Team fights are very important for AD carries. You got to learn positioning. You got to know how to stay alive. Support, you make sure AD carry gets fed. You help around. You can roam around the map if he's already fed and you already won your lane. You can roam and help get other lanes fed. But mostly you keep your ADC and whoever is doing the most damage, you keep them alive. So yeah, that's what I got to say about this slide. Okay, find a small champ pool. Okay, yeah, in realistic, if we're talking about, if we were being realistic right now, the larger the champ pool, the better you're gonna be. Like, cause you can just counter matchups. But mechanically, I'd rather have 3 champs that I am mechanically mastered than have 20 champs that I'm mediocre in. The reason is, if you pick like one of your 3 champs and they get counter picked, you can still have a high probability of winning that lane. Because that guy with 20 champs that's mediocre doesn't understand how hard he can counter you, so you can just dumpster him in lane. For example, yesterday I played Gangplank, and I went against a Riven, who was Mastery 5, I believe. They only had like 20k Mastery points, but I have 200k Mastery on GP, which means I actually understand this matchup quite well. So that Riven got dumpstered because she never all-ined me. And I don't know why, but she just kept getting poked out of lane, and she lost lane pretty bad. So fine, I would recommend 3 champs. My 3 champs, in my personal case in top lane, are Shen, Gangplank, and Echo. The reason is, and then, okay, another point I want to make real quick before I go into that is you have to find champs that suit your personal preference. For me, as you can see, Shen and Gangplank, global. I really like global champs. I like to have trash laning phase and just champs that, you know, impact the map without having to leave, except for Shen in that case. You leave and help your AD carry. But I like to have global champs with weak laning phases. I like to capitalize on that weakness, and I like to learn how to make those laning phases strong. For Gangplank, I solo kill people, and you're not supposed to be doing that as Gangplank, honestly. You're supposed to be getting all in, you're supposed to be getting dumpstered. People like Riven, Wukong, Echo, they just dumpster Gangplank. And now you might be saying, oh, why don't you pick Karthus instead of Echo as your 3rd champ pool? Honestly, Karthus is just I didn't like that kit. It didn't flow with me very well. Yeah, it's got a global ult, but I just couldn't get that champ flowing. However, Echo on the other hand, that's my pocket pick. You know, a bit different. You know, when I want to have fun and still carry games. I really like the feel of landing the W. It's just a champ that its kit I really enjoy playing. So that's my personal preference. You have to find champs that can carry and they fit your personal preference. Like if you like, for example, let's say lane dominators, I'd be thinking about Riven, Renekton, Darius. Those champs are pretty good at dominating lane. And if you like dominating the lane and snowballing from there, that's a fine champ pool. Just pick 3 champs. I would actually recommend having an AP in there just in case your team is complete aids and they all pick AD for every role. You need to have some AP in the mix. So I would recommend having 2 AD or 2 AP and then 1 AD or 1 AP. So that's pretty much it for the champ pool. You have to find the carry champs, Gangplank. I think Echo can actually do a good job of carrying. Just champs that overall deal a lot of damage and that can survive. You can't, like, my Shen pick, yeah, I honestly really rarely ever pick Shen unless I'm duo queuing with an AD carry that I can trust, that can carry the game. Otherwise, I kind of tend to avoid Shen because he doesn't carry games. Honestly, he just doesn't carry games. Yeah, you can get a 5-man taunt off, but if your AD carry is focusing minions instead of their 5 people who are taunted, which has happened before, You can't carry games like that. So I pick Gangplank most of the time. That's my main. He carries games. And with the 3 champs, you need to have fast wave clear. You know why this is important? Because farming in low elo is underrated. People do not farm in low elo, and that's the most tilting thing. The only thing I took from Dota to League, I believe, the only thing I took is understanding how to farm minions. If wave is about to crash on your tower, you go and farm it. You don't sit mid and try to get a 5v5 fight off. No, you tell your team to back up, you tell them to wave clear, you take like 30 minions top, and then you freaking push, and you win the game. Like, you win the game because you have more gold. And when you have more gold, you have more items. And when you have more items, you do more damage. And when you do more damage, you can't lose team fights. It's simple mechanics that people have yet to understand. That's why fast wave clear is so important, because the more money you have, the faster you get it, the easier it is. For my case, Echo, what was it? Echo, Shen, and Gangplank. Shen is the only one with garbage wave clear, in my opinion. Unless you get Sunfire Cape, then it gets okay. But in Shen's kit, you pretty much just sit top lane the whole entire game, and if the other top laner sits top lane the whole entire game, you pretty much win because you can just ult around the map. But you need to have fast wave clear. You need to pick champs with fast wave clear. Like, off the top of my head, I think Anivia has a pretty good wave clear. Trendamir has a pretty good wave clear. Champs with fast wave clear are pretty good. So, and they also need to have team fight capabilities. So Shen, Gangplank, obviously they have team fight capabilities. Echo's W and his ultimate are pretty good at team fights if you land them correctly. The reason why this is important is you just can't pick a champ that doesn't have any team fight capabilities. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Team fight capability. Like Trendamir, he's kind of questionable. He doesn't really team fight. He split pushes the whole entire game, which is his win condition. But in my opinion, if you get a team fight capability champ, just in case you ever need it, like Gnar, like he's definitely team fight capability, and he has a decently fast wave clear. So I would recommend getting team fight capabilities. It's going to come in handy if your team's just getting pooped on and you need to do a 5-man ult and you just win the game like that. But yeah, so just remember to get a fast wave clear, get carry champs, and make sure they have some team fight in their kit. Divisions. Okay, so as I'm not sure if you remember the chart from earlier, but I was from Bronze 1, I main top lane, to Bronze 3, and then I was like, you know what, I can't carry games. I'm bad. I was honestly bad. I did not really understand the game that well. I was still trying to play top lane. I was like playing the top lane freaking Draven or something. I don't even know, dude. So yeah, top lane was, I just couldn't carry. I just didn't understand the game at the time. You know, first week of playing, or actually, like, I guess I played 0 to 30. It took me like a month because I wasn't really try harding. We still had school, and summer was still around, still playing basketball with some friends. So when I was in bronze, that elo, it's not as terrible as people say it is. You can carry bronze quite easily if you jungle. That's the only exception I'm gonna make. If you're jungle and you lose games, it is because of you. It is not because your bot lane went 0-7. No, it's because you didn't jungle correctly. If you look at my mastery, I have mastery 7 on Master Yi. I got 50k mastery on him in bronze alone. Like bronze and like half a silver, okay? 50k mastery points on Master Yi. I played like 50 games with him, and I have a 50% win rate with him, and it pretty much got me out of bronze. I went and researched Cowsep. I learned a lot from that guy. I still watch him today. He's a great guy to watch if you want to learn how to team fight with Master Yi, his positioning, and the overall way of how he goes into fights and who he kills in fights, and his Master Yi mechanics really impressed me, and I learned a lot from him. And actually, recently, he started releasing mechanic videos on how he, like, hidden mechanics, or not really hidden mechanics, but, like, mechanics that if you just played Yi for the first time, you wouldn't know unless you actually played him for a bit. So I really liked that, and helping Master Yi players out. But yes, in bronze, if you do get placed in bronze and you're in bronze currently, just jungle, dude. Like, you'll understand the game more from jungling in bronze than you will if you're playing any other role. But once you reach silver, you can start branching out. You can start playing your top lane. You can start playing your mid lane. You can start playing your AD carry and your support. Silver, these people are either good players that don't spend time playing the game much, so then they just get rusty, and then when they come back, they feed, and because they're not used to playing. Or these players are players who just don't seem to improve. They're okay. They're mediocre. They could be gold if they played more, but they just don't improve at all, and that's why they're stuck in silver. If you're watching this video and you're in silver, which I looked it up, and majority of people currently playing League are in silver. If you're in silver, you have to find ways to improve. That's the most important way. That's the most important technique of the game. If you aren't looking to improve, and if you're like ignorant and you don't want to listen to what other people have to say, you're gonna be stuck in silver your whole life. I mean, you're watching this video, you're wondering how I did it, and it's because I improved. After every game, I looked at what I did wrong. I looked down what I could do better. I didn't care if my bot lane went 0-10. If I cared about that, that's like some bronze tilting stuff. Like people in bronze get emotional in the first death of the game. No, you have to understand what you could have done better. It doesn't matter if you got an S minus. If you got an S or an S plus, then you can be like, okay, that's my team though, you know. But if you got an S or an S plus, yeah, that's my team though. But if you got lower than that, the game's on you. If you want to carry yourself to higher elo, you have to make an S or an S plus on whatever champ you're playing. And if you're not making that consistently every game, you deserve to be in the elo you're in. Regardless, I still get S in Gangplank on Plat, but the games I don't get an S are the games I die too much, and those are the games I deserve to lose because I did not single-handedly carry 5 people or 4 people. And you got to have that mentality. You got to have the mentality saying, my team's garbage, everyone here is garbage, I'm going to carry these people, and if I fail to carry, I deserve to lose. Now, occasionally, you're going to do bad, and you're going to get carried, and you're going to be thankful. But you have to have the mentality saying, I'm going to carry these people. I'm going to do better. So that's what's most important. Gold. Gold is actually a fun division. I climbed this. Let me go back. I climbed this pretty darn fast. And it's because this is when I was picking it up. I was understanding the game more. I was researching. I was doing a lot more. Spending my time wisely. And the people in gold are actually pretty damn good. Like, okay, they're not good, but they're easier to carry. Bronze is the hardest to carry people. Silver, it gets a little bit easier. Gold, it actually gets fairly easy. I was playing Gangplank throughout midway through Silver. I stopped playing jungle. Like, I think Silver 2 is when I started picking up Gangplank. I just wanted to try out the champ. The first time I ever played Gangplank was when I was like leveling 0 to 30, and I thought that champ was absolutely garbage. Then when I was browsing through YouTube one night, because I wanted to look at carry champs, Gangplank came up, and I was like, you know what, I'll give him another shot. He seems like kind of fun, barrel mechanics. So I gave it another shot, and I just enjoyed it. I just figured out how to play the champ. I looked up the pros. I looked up a guy named Nisi. If you have not heard of this guy, then that's the first mistake, because he does so much free coaching on YouTube. He gives you so much knowledge that it's undeserving how much credit he gets, because I've learned single-handedly, I have learned more from that guy than anyone else, and it's free. I haven't even gave him $1, and I have learned so much. I plan on donating to him soon, because I'm in debt to his knowledge that he has displayed to YouTube. And if you don't take that, and if you don't absorb it, and if you don't try to improve, then not only are you preventing yourself from becoming better, but you're also wasting his time, because he's trying to help out the community become better. And, you know, just got to give that man credit. So in gold, it's easier to carry people. And once you reach plat, these people are pretty good. They've been around the game for a while. And once you reach diamond, these are probably one-trick ponies who have mastered the art of their champ. Even in plat, if you're stuck in plat, in my opinion, it's just because you're not grinding it out enough. You just stopped improving. You're like, oh, I made plat. I'm better than everyone else, so I'm not going to learn anymore. The minute you stop learning is the minute you start becoming worse, in my opinion. Unless you reach challenger, rank 1, there's always room to improve. And even Arc Second, who is consistently rank 1, and I watch his streaming from time to time, he's always like finding new tips, new tricks, and he's constantly improving the game. Because once you stop improving is the minute you start falling behind and someone else gets better than you. So, and I mean, yeah, there's Master Challenger, but I have never played against, I've played against one Master player, but it was a mid laner, so I don't really know much about those divisions. besides watching them on streams. So let's move on to the next slide. Wave mechanics. Okay, let's start talking about the game itself. You need to understand wave mechanics, guys. Winning your lane helps you win the game. Yeah, you hear the quote, lose lane, win game, you know, get carried, and then win lane, win game. That's the dream scenario. If you do not win your lane, regardless of how garbage your champ is at winning lane, if you do not win lane, you don't deserve to say, or you don't deserve to blame anyone else for the loss. The loss is on you. If you do not win your lane, the loss is on you, dude. Like, what else am I gonna say? Like, if I went 0-3 as freaking Gangplank in the first 15 minutes of the game against Riven, and then late game I'm like 10-5, the game's still on me because I went 0-3 and fed the Riven early game, and that Riven probably snowballed into the other lanes and ganked them and fed off them, and made my mid laner degrade and my bot lane degrade if she TP'd bot. So if you do not win your early game, regardless of your champ, the game's on you. And if you have an early dominating champ, like let's say Darius and Pantheon, and you're not winning your early game, then you're completely screwed, because come around late game, you're not doing anything useful, and you really, if you pick an early game champ and you do not abuse the laning phase and you do not suck as much like gold and as much as experience away from the other player, then you're not doing a good job of the laning phase at least. So anyways, that's pretty much brief overview, but I'll talk about the specifics now. Equilibrium. Okay, so this is pretty much like there's 3 ranged casters and there's 3 melee casters at the beginning of each wave, and it's a good idea. It's either you're gonna keep the wave at a standstill, or you're gonna push it, and if you push it, that means you want to all in. And the only time you trade is if you have creep advantage, and you never want to try to fight them if they have more creeps. Creeps do a shoot ton of damage, dude. Like, people do not understand that in low elo. Like, if you go into someone and they have 5 caster minions, they'll probably win that trade just because those 5 caster minions are focusing you and they got aggroed onto you, and they will hurt you. Trust me. Even if you're supposed to win the trade, like statistically 1v1, those minions will do damage and consistently do damage until you de-aggro them. So you have to be careful about like the waves and seeing how big their wave is, and if they're pushing into your tower, and then if you're pushing into their tower, you can try to fight them because they're going to have less minions and you're going to have most of the minions. So these are mechanics that I can't really talk about specifically right now, but I will later in the future. But I'd recommend you right now searching other YouTube videos. I know Philo, he has a couple videos on these wave equilibrium and trading in laning phase. Like, if you press A, you can see your circle. I mean, this is for AD carry, but even it helps in all the laning phases except for pretty much jungle. But you really need to look up these research videos. Like, you really need to do these research and understand wave mechanics. Nisi also does a really good job of teaching wave mechanics. So you guys really, this is probably top 2 most important thing about the game is wave mechanics. Like, you do not understand how important this is. Let's skip that pretty much. Look up videos for all of this stuff though. Don't just look up when to trade. Look at when to all in. Like, Google your champ. Let's say your champ is Trendamere. Off the top of my head, I know Boxer Pete, Challenger, Trendamere player. Look up his videos, and if you go to his YouTube channel, he probably has matchups where he plays Trundle, where he plays Gnar, where he plays counter picks, where he plays champs he beats normally. Look at those matchups, see what he does. I think he talks about those matchups, but you have to look up these challenger players who release content free on YouTube. You have to look it up, and you have to see like why they're winning lane. What do they do that I'm not doing? Once you learn that, you don't just look at it and like watch it and then just go to sleep. Like, no, this isn't just something that you watch for fun. No, you have to pay attention. You have to take your notes. You have to watch it and understand what they're doing that you're not doing. And you have to learn. If you're not learning from those videos, then what's the point of even clicking on them? So after that, mastering the basics. If you notice, pro players have high CS. Like Master Basics also goes with farm. You do okay in low elo. People just do not understand the basics of farming. Missing CS. If you watch top NA players stream, they will start complaining if they miss one CS. And if you're low elo, you're probably missing 5 CS, 6 CS out of 2 waves. They cry if they miss 1 CS. You have to master the basics. That's how you get your gold, guys. If you can't even farm a wave, you can't even get gold. And if you can't get gold, you're not going to win the game. You're not going to have any items. You're not going to have any, you're not going to have any worth. And you have to understand that, I know this goes for top laners, mid laners, any carries. If a wave's about to crash to your tower, you have to prioritize getting it. You have to watch the minimap. You have to watch how big the wave gets. You have to watch and see if the wave is pushing towards them. If it is pushing towards them slowly, like very slowly, like you have only one, you have to count. Like look at the minimap, count. Let's see, I have 3 caster minions on my side. They have 3 caster minions, or they have 4 caster minions on that side. That's fine. It's going to be pushing towards you. Overall, the wave's going to be pushing towards you, and then it'll be pushing slowly, and then whenever it gets, like, when you can see that only one more wave can tank it, their massive wave they just built up, you have to go and farm that wave. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to stop, you have to farm that wave, you have to tell your team to back up. Unless it's like an Infernal Drake or a Baron, you have to go and farm that wave. That is about to be like 200, 300, even 400 gold. Even more than that, guys, that you're losing to the tower. And plus your tower's taking damage, which allows them to get tower gold. So you always have to catch those waves. You can't just 5-man, sit mid. I've seen this in Dota. I've seen this in League. It is the most tilting thing when there's a massive creep wave crashing your tower and both teams are just sitting mid doing nothing besides just freaking touching each other in the little corners. Just so tilting. Please catch your waves in lower elo. By catching your waves, I mean go down there. If you see it's about to crash the tower, if you can only tank one more wave, you better run your butt down there, get to it, and catch it, and then get all that farm. And then you ping your team though, and tell them to back off. Okay? I think I hit that pretty hard. So you have to understand when to freeze and when to shove. I'll say my experience from top lane. Hopefully, it can help the other roles. But if they just went back, let's say, and then the tower or the wave is crashing near your tower, let's say they have like 5 ranged creeps or 5 casters, and then they have a cannon, and that's all, it's about to crash your tower, you should be freezing that. Why I say that is because even if you're playing a fast wave clear champ, you'll be denying them so much XP in the top lane if you let that freeze. By freezing, I mean stand in front of the tower. Don't let the tower hit the ranged minions, and just stand in front of it. Let it hit you. Just tank it. Pretty much just tank it. Let them aggro you, and then wait till your wave gets close. Run into a bush. I don't know. Run away, and then that wave that you froze right there should be able to kill the wave that's coming in, which means you just denied them. You just denied them a whole wave of yours. You know how much gold that is, guys? Look it up. That is so much gold that they are losing. An XP that they are losing by you freezing. That literally wins games. I'm telling you guys. That means you can be up a level, and then you can all in them with that level advantage and that XP advantage. I mean, with that gold advantage. And you can all in them, and then you can win the game. Or win lane, win the game. So, and then if the wave's at halfway, let's say, and they just backed, shove it in. Just clear it, put your barrels down, right click away, push it to tower, and then go back yourself. So you have to learn. This comes with experience, but I picked it up fast because I kept looking up videos on this stuff. I did lots of research on this stuff. Winning lane is the most important part of the game, in my opinion. So it's like one of the top 2 most important things. So when to freeze, when to shove, you guys have to abuse that. You have to deny as much XP and gold away from your opponent. And yeah, that's pretty damn important. And that's why I spent a lot of time on the slide. Sorry about that. And all of this stuff is on YouTube. Nisi, Philo, all of these big YouTubers, they all make these videos. You guys have to look at them. But don't just watch it, learn from it. All right? So the next one, matchup mechanics. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. For example, Trendemir, his weakness is when he has no Fury stacks, his passive. Um, Gangplank weakness, champs that have all in, Wukong, Riven, Echo, these guys can all in Gangplank and they all have gap closers. So that's what really ruins their day. So you have to understand what's your champ weakness. I'll go over, let's say, Gangplank, my main, because it's easy. So I already listed it, all ins and what is it? Gap closers. You find your champ. Let's say your champ's Trendemir. Champs that are gonna bully you off level 1 are champs that are gonna ruin your day. Like a Gangplank's actually, if played correctly, Gangplank can ruin Trendemir's day by bullying him off the wave. But if Trendemir gets those Fury stacks early and Gangplank isn't bullying him off, you can pretty much all in him level 1 into level 2 because Gangplank's only gonna have barrels. He's gonna have his parlay, and he's not going to do that much damage compared to a level 2 Trendemir with full stacks and a spin. So you have to understand your champ's weaknesses and how you can make big dick plays by not letting your opponent understand your champ's weakness. Like, I played against the Wukong not too long ago, and I'm pretty sure he looked up statistics just to counter me because I picked Gangplank first, and he did not understand the matchup. He played scared. He was afraid of me parlaying him. All he had to do was just all in me. That's all he had to do when he reached level 6. But he was scared. He didn't want to all in me. And by the time he figured that out, it was way too late. I already had Triforce. I already had like 30 CS up. And the moment he tried to all in me, I just killed him. So you have to understand your champ's weakness. You have to understand the other champ's weakness. And you have to play around those. Counter picks, I would recommend this if you're in Plat and Diamond and you have a big champ pool. Otherwise, just avoid this. Yeah, you have 3 champs, but I wouldn't even recommend trying to counter pick at this point. But if you get to a point in stage where you can counter pick, I'd recommend doing it if you feel comfortable enough. Don't just be like, oh, I know Jax counters this champ, but I haven't played Jax in a month. No, you don't pick that champ if you haven't played in a month. You pick that champ if you have like Mastery 5 on it and it counters, and you feel comfortable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Understand your weaknesses and how you can make those into your strengths. So champs like Gangplank, even though they're supposed to have a weak laning phase, they can bully people around like Renekton, Riven, Wukong, Echo. They can bully them around if the other person does not understand your champ's weakness. So take that as a positive thing, understand their weakness, understand how they're playing, and capitalize off that, and always be adapting in-game. Okay, understanding each game, win condition, which team has the better team fight, split push, read the map. Okay, so when both teams are locked in, about to get ready, the game's about to start, everyone's loading in, you have to understand what your win condition is. If you don't have the better team fight, you should be split pushing. If you have the better team fight, you should be trying to look for 5v5 engages around Baron, Dragon, all that good stuff, around towers. If your team has like a Trendemir, a Jax, a Shen, or someone who's a split push, you guys should be split pushing the whole entire game. Do not stop split pushing. The minute Shen tries to walk mid and tries to fight without using his ult is the minute you guys lose the game. The minute Jax tries to team fight and misses his stun is the minute you guys lose the game. These champs, some champs are meant to split push, some champs like Gnar are meant to team fight. Understand that, and that's how you guys are going to win games. And you have to shot call in low elo. If you believe you're the best player on your team, you have to shot call. You have to type, let's go Baron, let's go Dragon. Even if you mess up, it's fine. Because then you're understanding, you're learning what you did wrong. And then for the next game, you won't shot call Baron at that specific time, and you'll understand. For example, if three enemy teammates are dead, especially the jungler, you should be doing Baron, 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 Dragon, Dragon, Dragon. Or you should be taking, unless they have inhib. You can do, guys, this is all over YouTube. You guys have to use the resources in front of you. So, if you can take an inhib, take that over Baron. Baron's not as good as an inhib. Inhib is more important. Nexus turrets are more important than Elder Dragon, in my opinion. 2 inhibs is better than Elder Drake and Baron. But if you can't take an inhib, or if you can't take Nexus turrets, then you got to take Baron or Drake. So you have to understand each game. You have to understand your win condition. That should be all done in pre-lobby or like when you're loading into the game. By reading the map, I mean like if they have their Vayne, who's farming bot wave because wave's about to crash to the tower, you guys should be fighting. That's going to be 4v5 mid. If you guys have 5 people mid, you guys should be fighting. You should be initiating, but a good initiation. Don't get poked. Don't let one person get poked down to 0 HP, because then it's a 4v4. You understand? You have to read the map. You have to find situations in which your team can win, and you got to capitalize on them. Also, initiating champs would also be pretty solid if you can have that, since you're going to be a shot caller. You can initiate and get your team going. That's pretty much it about that. It's a pretty long video. Personal weakness, improve personal play, understand yourself. So for me, I like global champs. I like to, global champs. I don't really like lane dominators. I like champs with weak laning phases, and I like to dominate with that. I like to improve that and dominate with those champs. Play what makes you happy. I like playing top lane, even though jungle can probably win me more games. I'm going to play top lane. I'm going to become the best top laner I can, and I'm going to improve my personal play. And play to improve and not to win. Boys, this is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you win every game. If you're not getting better, you're eventually going to start losing your ass off, okay? You will start losing so many games if you don't play to improve. Sorry about that. I had to do something real quick. So play to improve and not to win. The reason why you play to improve is because if you keep improving while winning, that's the best scenario. That is the best scenario. But if you're losing, you're tilting, you're not understanding why you lost, you're blaming your teammates, the game's on you, dude. Like, you are hurting yourself, you're wasting your time, everything's going wrong. Okay? So you guys really, really got to improve constantly. The minute you stop improving is the minute you start just becoming trash, becoming bronze elo. Okay, now do your research, dude. At least learn, not listen. You have to learn, guys. You don't just watch a video, like watch Boxer Pete playing the Trending Mirror against Trundle. You don't just watch that for fun. No, you have to learn what he's doing. You have to understand what all-ins he took, how he freezes the lane, how he pushes the lane. He even probably talks about it. You have to listen to him, and you have to learn. You have to take notes. I even have a notebook near my desk. Well, the 1 month I was grinding, everything I found important, I wrote in my notebook. Everything that I found useful, I wrote in my notebook. Even during the game, I'd be like flipping through my notebook. It's right here. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'd be flipping through my notebook, looking at what I wrote, and understanding what I did wrong. YouTube, I'm telling you guys, everywhere. Use YouTube, use other resources. I probably played 8 hours a day for a month, and that's how I got to platinum. But I spent 4 to 6 hours every night looking up YouTube videos. Statistically, 4 to 6 hours. I played as much as I researched. Because what's the point of going into a game if you don't know what you're doing? Even before I started Echo, I probably spent a whole day researching Echo gameplay, researching builds, researching masteries, ruins. I looked up everything about a champ before I even started touching the champ. I hadn't even bought the champ yet. You have to understand champs before you can play them. And that's probably with YouTube, Twitch, coaching. Nisi offers $20 coaching. I would highly do that if I was low elo. I'm about to do that right now. I'm about to be Plat. I'm about to send in some videos in. If you can review them. The reason why I'm doing Nisi is because I like the guy. I like his information he provides. It's pretty useful. And I know this video is pretty long, and you guys are pretty tired for watching this. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. This is the end of the slideshow. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this is Binary signing out.